So this tutorial is for a enemy that can move, change direction, and deal damage to the player by hitting them. So in this case it's a zombie that when they walk over to the player and hit the player, they deal damage. So for the movement, it is based off of the event tick, so it happens every time an in-game tick happens. So straight away we go to a sequence. So for 0 we add movement input function. The target is the pawn, which is what the enemy class, an enemy blueprint class is. It's a pawn. So straight away that's adding the movement. That is the easiest part. You could do that and just set the scale value to 1 and it will start moving. But this sees if it's moving right. Move right is a Boolean variable that is in my components tab. Boolean means true or false values, so it's either 1 or 0, it's true or false. It's used a lot in computer science. So the index, we use move right as the index because it's either 1 or 0. If it's true, it's 1, and if it's false, it's 0. This then returns that value. So if it's false, it's -1, so it's left because it's not moving right. If it's true, it is 1, so it is moving right. And that 75 on the x-axis means that it will move at 0.75 of 1, which is what I have determined is the correct speed for my specific enemy. And the x-axis means that it moves left to right on the screen. If you have a flying enemy, you might want to add some to the z-axis so it goes up and down as well. And then going off the sequence on then 1, you want to set the world rotation. It's the scene component. It says there, put this component, specify rotation of the world space, updates relative rotation to achieve the final world rotation. That sounds like mumbo jumbo, but it basically just means it updates the position of the sprite to reflect the real world rotation. So again, it's move right. If it's true, it's 0. If it's false, it's 180. Because if it's facing to the right and it's moving to the right, then the sprite is correct. But if the enemy moves to the left, the sprite will then need to face left. Otherwise, the sprite will be the wrong way round. So there we have the sprite, which is up here. There it is. That's the sprite goes in the target, because that's the target of it, obviously. And then this select, this true or false, goes into the new rotation Z. Then for face direction of the movement, so this is determined. So this basically makes it a random direction of movement every time we boot up the game. So it could start looking left or it could start looking right. It's just a random value Boolean. That means that it's either a 0 or a 1, and it's decided as soon as the game boots up, and that then sets the value of move right. To change direction, we have this off of event actor begin overlap. So this essentially is whenever the zombie hits anything, it could be a wall, could be the player, it will then change direction. In order to deal damage to the player, I have it off an event hit. So when the trigger box is overlapped with the player blueprint. So for this I have a sound plays. So you're going to cast to the player blueprint. The object will be the other component, which is the other thing that is overlapped in order to apply the damage. Then we're going to have a do once, otherwise it will be a constant stream of damage and you won't just get that one hit. once that's completed, it's the function apply damage. So you get the damaged actor off of the cast to 2D side scroller, and then the base damage is whatever you define it as in your variables section. So I have a zombie damage there. That is then set to 50, so I want it to do 50 health on every hit. So that's how much damage it will do. And then on this, you change direction, which is that function there, and then delay, and it resets the do once. That is pretty simple. It's not that difficult. It's just a bit of a pain.